you seen that new girl in Hindu Cushions? Do you get that? There's a place in India called Hindu Kush. So they've called their upholstery shop Hindu Cushions. It's clever, that, isn't it?
Flash of Oriental brilliance. Or it would be, if the Hindu Kush wasn't in Afghanistan.
Afghanistan? Bloke in shop said it were in India. And he should know. He's Indian.
He's Pakistani. He's never been further east than Cleethorpes.
Oh. Anyway, the new girl there's got a diamond in her nose.
Heathens. The place is full of heathens.
I saw her yesterday when I went in Corner Cafe at Sandwiches. She were queuing up for 2 salad balm cakes. And sun was shining right through window onto her nose. Sort of twinkled.
Another flash of Oriental brilliance.
It looked quite nice.
Oh, I hope you're not contemplating that.
Well, it's different.
Well, diamonds can be very tasteful, Sharon, but not stuck in your nose. It's all right for those Pakistani girls. It's part of their ethnic culture. But the only items of personal adornment embedded in the ethnic culture of Greater Manchester are hairnets and vests with sleeves.
I can't afford it anyway.
Oh, poverty's got some blessings then. Now, how much typing have you got to do today?
Oh, not much.
Oh, good, because I want you to sort out some filing for me. Could you come over here a minute, please?
Filing?
What's wrong with filing?
It's boring.
The secret with filing, Sharon, is little and often.
You what?
If you keep it up to date, then you never have to spend much time on it. It doesn't overwhelm you. There, I'd like you to sort that one out first.
Elsie? I'm overwhelmed already.
Hi, you look gorgeous. Listen, I've got to deliver some designs and layouts to my uncle first. It shouldn't take long. He's doing this new line in Get Well cards for people he don't like. Get well later. It's a joke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, let's go.
Haven't had a cup of coffee yet.
Well, you weren't in the office when I were there.
I was in a factory.
You weren't in the factory either when I were there.
I was in the gents.
That's your problem, Stanley. The gents is not on my coffee round.
Would I like a quick cup now, if it's not too much trouble? I've got to go out in 5 minutes.
There's nothing but dregs left in that urn.
You've got some instant, haven't you?
That's for emergencies.
This is an emergency.
Look, if I put something aside for an emergency, I like it to be there when I need it. And if I go using it up every time you want a cup of coffee, well, it won't be there when I need it, will it?
Oh, come on, Ivy. I've got a throat like a church organ pipe.
Well, just this once, but don't make an habit of it.
Well, I can make it if, if you're busy.
Hey, this is my kitchen, and if anybody makes coffee in here, it's me.
Suit yourself.
Ivy, I've got everything. What are you doing here?
I'm painting a mural of the Last Supper on Ivy's ceiling.
Oh, you're so sharp, Stanley. I'm surprised you don't cut yourself.
Well, what would I be doing here? I've come in for a quick cup of
I
coffee.
thought you were taking that special delivery down to the station.
Before taking that special delivery down to the station.
Oh, well, I hope you're not going to be too long, because you're supposed to be taking me to the bank at lunchtime to pick up the wages.
Don't worry, Elsie. I've got the appointment down in my diary.
Here.
Oh, thanks.
I'll talk to you later, Ivy.
You carry on. I don't mind me.
What I have to say to Ivy is private. It can wait until you've finished idling about in here.
Yeah, what's going on with you two? You're not planning to overthrow the government, are you?
Oh, don't ask me. I don't know what she's after.
Yes. Over the years, I've come to the conclusion that Elsie Beecroft has a secretive nature. A lace-skirting mentality.
Oh, she's all right. If you ignore the fact that she thinks she's better than anybody else.
No, but she is, Ivy. I mean, she's married to the civil service.
I knew Roland Beecroft when he was still wetting the sheets on his cot.
Well, you've known him for 2 or 3 years, then, have you?
His mother used to dress him in a velvet suit. They gave him hell in that schoolyard.
Oh, poor old Roland. First his mother, and then Elsie. You can almost forgive him his index-linked pension for that.
Haven't you started yet? Oh, don't look at it like that, Sharon. I'm not asking you to smuggle it through the Berlin Wall. Now, there are 3 years' invoices in there, and what I want you to do is separate them out into 3 separate files. Now, they have been interfered with by auditors a couple of times, but they should be in reasonable date order. Excuse me. The door was open, and I didn't want to disturb you with the bell.
Great, look at this lot.
It's Mrs. Tibbet,
I don't
isn't
suppose
it?
you remember me. I'm Mrs. Tibbet.
Yes, you came to be interviewed.
I came for an interview.
Yes, for the job of
As a secretary.
But Sharon, you got
But
the
I
job.
didn't get it.
Well, you can have it now if you want, because it's just overwhelmed me.
What can we do for you today, Mrs. Tibbet?
I write verses.
I beg your pardon?
Verses, poems, rhymes. I've always written things like that.
Oh, good.
When I got home from here the other week, I looked at the cat and I thought, that's it. All right, verses for the cards.
What's the cat got to do with it?
Well, she was sat on the windowsill, nibbling a chrysanthemum. She shouldn't do it, it makes her sick.
I knew this wasn't going to be my day when I woke up and found Roland had commandeered every inch of the duvet.
So I brought some with me.
Chrysanthemums?
Verses.
How kind.
Thank you very much. Here's one. No one knows the joy it brings to have a dad like you. We didn't need the earthly things. We had your love, good and true. That one's for Father's Day.
Father's Day? Have you got any that say keep your thieving hands off me holiday money?
Got some more?
Yes, well, thank you
here.
very much, Mrs. Tibbet, for bringing them in. I'm sure Mr. Blake will be very interested to read them. Could you just leave them over there on Sharon's desk, and we'll drop you a line in the post when he's seen.
Oh, thank you very much.
Why my desk?
Because I don't want them on mine.
Now, where are they?
Oh, what's that?
Oh, that's some fish for the cat, and that's some liver for my mother. Or perhaps the cat could have the liver and she could have the fish. I wonder which she'd like.
Well, why don't you ask her?
You can't ask a cat, can you? Oh, there you are, there's one.
Occupier, 35 Whiteley Street, Moston. It doesn't even rhyme.
No, it's on the back. It's a silver wedding one.
Oh, yeah. I think I prefer 35 Whiteley Street, Moston.
Here's 3 more.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, well, thank you very much, Mrs. Tibbet. Would you just leave it with us and we'll be in touch? We still have your address on our files.
We'll have them up cards if we're not careful. Happy Silver Wedding, 35 Whiteley Street, Moston.
Thank you very much. Right, well, I'll be off then. I thought I'd go up to Oldham. After I've been to my mother's, have a look round the market.
Good idea. Might give you some inspiration for an epic prose poem.
Or an ode. Always wanted to write an ode.
Ode to Oldham Market. Why not? Probably hasn't been done.
Toodaloo then.
Try.
Hi, Mrs. Tibbet.
Hey, I've never met a poet before. I suppose they're all a bit eccentric.
Well, that's one word for it, Sharon.
I shouldn't think the old man will keep you long. And then we'll go round to that photographer. You're not nervous, are you? Don't be. Listen, you've got it all, doll. You look great to the naked eye, but through a lens, you're a knockout. Good set of folio pictures, an agent who's on the ball. Vogue, Harper's, Paris Match. It'll all be yours.
Morning.
They're not in order.
And that's a lovely Elsie.
Do you have to do that?
Oh, definitely. It's a primeval urge.
Oh, well, my primeval urge is to give you a clip round the ear.
Do you know, the first time I saw you, Elsie, I thought, now there's a woman who's into discipline.
The first time you saw me, Michael Blake, you were a spotty teenager and too cocky by half, and you haven't changed.
Well, the spots have gone.
But not the cheek. Look what you've done to the invoices.
Sorry. Sorry.
If it's your uncle you want, he's down at the end of the printing shop.
I've got some layouts for him. I'll go down there.
Now, you stay where you are. I don't want you wandering around the factory at will. I'll tell him you're here. That is Sharon, your uncle's secretary. Keep your hands off her.
Hi, I'm Michael Blake. I didn't know my uncle had a new secretary. When did Eunice leave?
A couple of months ago.
Oh, well, if I'd known what you looked like, I'd have been in here before.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're wasted in a poky little office like this.
Am I?
Hey, now you have got a great face. You should be a model.
A model?
Yeah, you've got terrific bones.
Oh, I broke one of them once.
You broke one?
My left arm fell off my grand's backyard wall.
No, I meant in your face. Great bone structure in your face. I bet you photograph well.
Our Elvis took a photo of me last Christmas. He's my brother.
Ah, but did he capture that sparkling quality in your eyes?
Not exactly, no. He didn't get me head in at all, actually.
Oh, Tommy.
Could you look where you're going, Stanley? I nearly put my pencil through 3 sheets of carbon there.
How can I look where I'm going when I'm not going in our direction?
That, Stanley, belongs to the boss's nephew, who It is not in your league, so wipe that steam off your eyeballs.
Ivy, I've got everything arranged for Tuesday night.
You what?
Roland's giving up his round table so I can go out.
All right. Where are you going?
Well, you know perfectly well where I'm going. That fashion show your Jones organised at Wimslow.
Oh, are you? How did you get a ticket for that?
Well, I haven't got one. You're getting me one. You promised me last week.
Well, you'd best tell King Arthur he can go to his round table, because there's none left.
None left?
It's going to be very select.
Well, I know it is. That's why I want to go.
It's in aid of the Save the Children Fund.
Well, I'd like to help save a few.
Well, don't worry. There'll be nothing there you can afford.
Well, I wouldn't be too sure about that, Ivy.
Come into money, have you?
Roland has a very good job. I mean, we don't exactly live on the breadline.
That central heating must have set you back a bit.
Well, I think that's my business, Ivy. Oh, Michael Blake's here. You might want a cup of coffee.
No, he won't.
How do you know?
Because I've just emptied the pot, that's how.
I'd love to do something glamorous. I don't suppose I ever will, though.
Why not? You've as much right to as anyone else. Your face gives you a right to.
My face?
I told you. Great bones. Now, if you've got a face of the times, the world's your oyster.
He's in his office now, Michael.
Thanks. Hey, Elsie. She's got great bones.
Great bones?
I've got a face of the times, Elsie. If you've got a face of the times, then the world's your oyster.
And you know what's in oysters, Sharon?
Pearls.
Well, very rarely. Usually something cold and damp, guaranteed to give you salmonella poisoning.
He said I should be a model, Elsie. Imagine me a model. Me photo in magazines and newspapers.
Yes, and page 3.
I could travel all over the world. I could even be on Blankety Blank.
Well, while you're waiting for all this fame, do you think you could do some of those invoices?
Some models even become film stars, you know, in things like James Bond films. Elsie! I could be a Bond girl.
Sharon, you could also be unemployed if you don't get your mind back very sharpish to that filing.
He said I was wasted in a poky little office like this.
Sharon, Michael Blake is a very nice young man, very personable. He's a good graphic artist and he's done quite a lot of work for us. But there is a disruptive element in his makeup. He once told Eunice she looked like Doris Day.
Did she?
No, she looked more like Robin Day. He didn't stop her wandering around here for weeks singing Take Me Back to the Black Hills.
You've already paid for your coffee. You don't have to sing for it. Give us your cup.
I think he's gorgeous.
Who's she on about?
Michael Blake.
All mouth and trousers, that one.
Now, there you have it, Sharon. A neat character assessment from our resident psychologist.
Thought you might like a cup of coffee. Seem to have been here a long time.
Thank you, that's very kind.
It's the least the gentleman could do. I believe you're waiting for Mike.
Yes, he's gone in to see his uncle.
Nice boy, Mike. Very nice. Yes, Jim and I like to give him the odd job now and again, you know, just to look after him, like.
Are you one of the directors here?
Not exactly, no. But I'm Jim Blake's right-hand man. I more or less run the place. He never makes a move without consulting me.
Yes, I thought you must be one of the executives.
Yes, well, you can always tell management stuff. There's an air about us.
I thought it was your socks.
The factory staff are very coarse. When you've worked your way up, like I have, they get jealous. I've worked my way up from nothing, you know. Oh, yes, I've come a long way. You see before you a self-made man.
It's nice of you to take the blame, Stanley.
I've been thinking about that ticket. Now, your Joan probably didn't realise it was me who wanted one. Could you give me her phone number and I'll give her a ring?
I've told you there's none left.
I know there are none left for the general public, but I'm sure Joan would squeeze me in if I talked to her. I mean, most people go to these things because they've got nothing better to do with their evenings. They have no real intention of buying anything.
And you have?
Well, we're going to a christening next month. I'd like something to wear for that. It's Roland's cousin's baby. They live at Croydon. I mean, I can't let the family down by turning up in last year's clothes.
Well, you can try if you like, but I'm warning you. Our Joan told me there's nothing on show under £120.
£120.
But if that's what you want, I'll give you a number.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Ivy. Later will do. No rush.
How you doing, Shelley?
Sharon.
Oh, do us a favour, will you? Will you make sure the old man puts my invoice through right away? I've got a cash flow problem that would make the Aswan Dam look like a picket fence. Johnny? Johnny, it's Mike Blake. Hi, I'm fine, yeah. Business is fine. Listen, Johnny, I've found this great girl. Really gorgeous. She's got potential, Johnny. Big potential. Well, is the studio free for a couple of hours? Yeah, well, preferably in the immediate future. Believe me, Johnny, when you see her, you'll want to photograph her. I mean, she's got a face of today, Johnny. It's a face of, like, now. Oh, she can be anything you like. Quiet and demure. or fiery and sexy. I'm telling you, Johnny, she's a knockout. Believe me, with her face in front of the camera and your talent behind it, well, we're talking about success. Yeah, no problem. I've got her here with me now. Great. That's terrific. I will do. All right, mate. I'll see you later. Yeah, cheers. You won't forget about that invoice, will you?
No.
Great. I'll be seeing you very soon. Ciao, Karen.
Sharon. Potential. Big potential.
I was saying to him only last week, Jim, I said, we ought to think of moving to more modern premises. You're right, Stanley, he said. And then he asked me what club he should use to drive off with on the 10th. As we have most our business discussions on the golf course.
Golf? You couldn't hit a football with a dustbin lid.
It's taken you a long time to check this delivery.
Aye, it is Stanley, because you cocked up the order sheet.
The old man's looking for you, Stanley. You better get in there fast. He's threatening things that could ruin your love life.
Have you got toothache again?
I'm practicing.
It's not Halloween, is it?
I've got potential.
Oh, don't worry, it doesn't show.
I'm going to be a model, Elsie.
Oh, yes?
Michael Blake's been talking to a photographer about me. He said with my face in front of the cameras and his talent behind it, we'd be a success.
Sharon, Michael Blake has a tendency to talk big. Now, I'm warning you. If you start taking everything he says literally, you're heading for a lot of disappointment.
But it's true, Elsie. Honest, he rang him from your phone.
From my phone?
Yes, and...
Oh, he does have a cheek, that boy.
And he told him all about me, like, how I've got a face that's right now.
Well, of course you've got a face right now. You'd have a very blank patch on the front of your head if you were awaiting arrival of a face.
No, he means a face that's modern. A face that hasn't been around before.
Well, your face is never around when it's needed. I mean, how about those invoices?
The what?
The invoices. You can't possibly have forgotten all that filing you're supposed to be doing.
I won't be doing that much longer. I'll be off to exotic locations, modelling swimwear in the West Indies, a fur coats in Paris.
How about modelling a filing cabinet in Manchester?
I wonder when he'll want me to pose for him. He'll ring me, I suppose. Won't he?
Well, don't hold your breath till then.
Yeah, he will. Of course he will. I've got these great bones, you see. Now, not everybody's got great bones.
Sharon,
you know.
will you calm down? Now, let's be realistic just for a moment. I mean, you haven't even been to modelling school, have you?
Modelling school?
I had a friend who went once. Well, she didn't actually do the modelling course. She did the charm course. She lives in Eccles now.
Charm course? What's a charm course?
Well, they teach you to walk with your back straight and sit with your legs crossed.
Is that all?
They told her to keep her gloves on if she was introduced to the Queen.
And was she?
I shouldn't think so, Sharon, not living in Eccles.
Are you sure there are no more cups in here?
Well, I can't see any, Ivy.
I'm one short.
Well, perhaps one's got broken.
When I set off to collect this morning's lot, I left 3 cups by my sink. And when I got back, there were only 2. You know what that means, don't you?
You'll take reprisals.
It means that somebody went in there and took one. And they probably made themselves a cup of coffee at the same time.
Probably did, unless Our pottery has suddenly become a collector's item. Ming Dynasty, was it? Or Tang? I must say they look more like early British Rail.
I don't like people making their own coffee. It undermines my position.
Well, if I see anybody with an unauthorised cup of coffee, Ivy, I shall see you're informed immediately.
She wants seeing to, that one, you know.
What on earth are you doing?
I'm practising me walk. They all walk like art models, you know.
Really? Must be something to do with her underwear.
Do you think I should go home at dinner time and put on my new peach-coloured trousers?
Sharon, I can't tell you often enough. Will you stop getting carried away?
But I am going to be a model, Elsie. I am. I heard him talking to the photographer. I did. Honest, it's true.
But what did he actually say to you, Sharon? I mean, did he look you in the eyes and say he was going to make an appointment with a photographer for you?
Well, no. Not exactly.
Well, then.
But when you were talking to him, he said, I've got her with me now. I were the only one in here, Elsie. Who else could he have been talking about?
Well, it all sounds too far-fetched to me.
What's far-fetched?
Or some of Michael Blake's wild promises.
He's got too much too soon, that lad.
Do I detect a note of envy, Stanley? Do you perhaps feel you've had too little, too late?
Don't underestimate me, Elsie. A lot of women go for the mature man.
Now, I would never describe you as mature, Stanley. Middle-aged, yes. Mature, no.
I've got a spot coming. I suppose I better do something about my skin. You've got to be careful with your complexion, you know. What do you think I should do about it, Elsie?
Have you thought of having it sandblasted?
Very funny.
What's wrong with her? She's up and down like a bride's 90.
She's a little concerned about her looks.
Oh, well, plastic surgery's the only answer for that. Oh, there's a fire inspector coming round today.
Today?
Is there an echo in here?
Well, I didn't know we were due for fire inspection again.
Yeah, well, I'm only telling you what Jim Blake's just told me.
Oh.
And somebody's going to have to show him round.
Do you know there's not been a moment's peace in here today?
Where have you been? Where have you been? I was just talking to...
Yes, I heard you. I've got a cat myself.
I was just, talking.
No, I'm sorry to disturb you, but I seem to be lost. When I came here earlier, I went straight to the office, but I must have come through a different door this time, and I can't seem to find it.
Go round the corner by the stockroom and then up the stairs. The office is on the next floor.
Thank you very much. I think a cat would be more company for you.
I've always had a sense of destiny.
Destiny?
Yeah, everybody famous has a sense of destiny. I saw that on television. Winston Churchill had a sense of destiny.
Well, he was a little older than you, Sharon, when he reached his finest hour.
I suppose I'll have to move to London. That's where all the action is.
Well, I'm very sorry to have disturbed you, Mr. Blake. Hello, I'm back.
Today is one long cavalcade. Hello, Mrs. Tippett. I didn't expect to see you again, Cecile.
No, well, I left something here.
I'll have my own flat with dead posh furniture.
Oh, Sharon.
I've been to my mother's. She decided on the liver.
Oh, good.
I mean, you can't be a world-famous model living in a council house in Manchester, can you?
I think I must have left it over here.
I'm sure you've misunderstood him, Sharon. He can be a very flippant young man.
I'm not stupid. You don't think I could be a model, do you? Mrs. Tippett, do you think I could be a model?
A model? Like that girl downstairs.
What girl?
Have you seen a little white paper bag?
What girl?
The girl in the car downstairs.
What's she talking about, Mrs. Tippett?
A little white paper bag from the
The girl, Mrs. Tippett, the girl.
Oh, yes. Well, when I was coming back in here, there was a girl sitting in a car downstairs, and a young man came out to be oh, very good-looking he was. Oh, well, I mean, some of them, they're not very smart these days, are they? But he was, because I noticed that straight away. Nice
No,
area.
but what about the girl?
Oh, she was lovely. Because when they was leaving, I heard him say, right, let's go and get your modelling career off the ground.
Oh, I see.
Well, I mean, I can't have left it anywhere else. Oh, it's all squashed.
Oh, what is it, Mrs. Tippett?
Well, it was a cream puff for my mother.
Just what you need to go with a plate of liver.
Right, never mind. She's got a packet of biscuits. Right, I'll be off then. Will I be hearing from you about poems?
Oh, yes, you will, Mrs. Tibbet.
Toodaloo, then.
Bye-bye. Bye. Now, don't be too upset, Sharon. It doesn't mean you couldn't be a model. You're a very attractive girl.
You weren't talking about me at all, Elsie. It's not me who's got potential.
Of course you've got potential.
What for?
Well...
Yes, see? I've got potential for nought. I'll never be anything, do anything, go anywhere.
Now, don't be so silly. Just because Michael Blake was talking about somebody else when he mentioned potential doesn't mean that you're any less attractive than you were when you walked in here this morning. And you were perfectly happy with yourself then, weren't you?
No.
Yes, you were.
Elsie, he's the only person that's ever said anything nice about me. And he didn't mean it.
Now, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Lots of people have said nice things about you.
What's wrong with you, Sharon? You've got a face of a worried rat.
Oh!
Get out of this office.
Look, I work here, in case you haven't noticed, that's all.
Get out.
Right, suit yourself. It's a madhouse, this.
Now, come on, Sharon, cheer up. It's not really a very glamorous job, you know, being a model. Very few of them go on exotic locations. Most of them spend their time in drafty studios modelling corsets for mail-order catalogues. I mean, you wouldn't want to do that, would you?
No.
Well, glamour's very much in the mind, you know.
I wish it were in my mind.
Do you know, I once entered a beauty competition when I was 16.
You did?
Well, don't say it like that. I was quite attractive. We were on holiday at Morecambe and there was this silly contest on the promenade. I wore a black swimsuit with a boned front. I padded it out with cotton wool. The girl who won wore a very similar costume, but she didn't need the cotton wool.
Oh, excuse me. I did ring.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We were busy. Can I help you?
That's the fire inspection. No?
Oh, yes, of course. Just a minute.
Hello?
Hello?
A nice day.
Yeah, lovely.
I like the summer.
Oh, so do I.
Miss Wilkes, would you care to show this young man round the factory? That is, if you're not too busy.
Oh, no, I'm not too busy.
Oh, good. I usually get palmed off with some grumpy old caretaker. It'd be a very nice change.
Thank you.
Have you worked here long?
A couple of months. I was going to be a model, but I decided to get a proper job. It's not very glamorous, you know.